Hey everybody, thanks for dropping by the Star Wars headquarters. This is Ryan, and today EA just released the patch notes for Han Solo Season 2, which is coming out tomorrow. And we're going to go over all of the details, including major hero changes that are happening, some gameplay changes, and so much more that are included in this extensive list of patch notes. But first, if you didn't hear, in one particular section of the patch notes, the Starfighter Assault section, it said this, it said Geonosis. So if you look at that list, it had a bullet point that said Geonosis, and again, this is in the official EA DICE patch note. So it looks like they leaked Geonosis on purpose. That's what I believe. I believe they leaked Geonosis on purpose to let us know, hey, Geonosis is coming up, or that there's something related to Starfighter Assault. But again, I personally believe that Geonosis will be coming up in a separate Clone Wars season, perhaps Season 3. And we made a whole video about that. If you guys missed it, check it out in the description below, and be sure to click on the link to watch that video. I break it down, go over the reasons why I believe Geonosis is coming in a Clone Wars season. But guys, let's break down the rest of the notes, and before I dive into that, let's go over what's in the release tomorrow that kicks off Season 2, the Han Solo season. So we're going to get Jabba's Palace map. We're also going to be getting the Hero Showdown mode as well. We're going to be getting Princess Leia's Bounty Hunter skin, as well as Lando's Skiff Guard skin. And remember, Princess Leia's Bounty Hunter skin has a scrambled voice with it, which is really cool. And then on top of that, if you are a Starfighter Assault fan, you can celebrate because that will be in arcade mode. And then Ewok Hunt should be making a comeback tomorrow as well. And then there's going to be menu enhancements, including the ability to upgrade and unlock star cards in the pre-round phase of a match, which is a huge request by the community. And I also believe they're going to be introducing the non-hologram units as well, so you can see your class in certain screens without the hologram. I believe that's coming in tomorrow's update. Now, moving forward, let's go over all of the details and changes on our heroes and villains, starting with Captain Phasma. So Captain Phasma seems to always get a lot of updates in these patches, so let's take a look. So Captain Phasma's staff strike should be easier to hit and chain to an enemy. And I'm just reading this off of the website. So it says, since it's easier to connect now, we needed to remove some advantage on the 2 first strikes. We will still be keeping the incentive to land all 3 strikes, as each strike is more powerful than the previous one. We'll monitor if it feels strong enough, but Captain Phasma should be much more enjoyable to play. And then it goes into details on that. Says they added the closing functionality to all Phasma staff strikes. They reduced the damage of the first strike from 150 to 120. Then they removed the push effect on the 2 first attacks. And then it says Captain Phasma's First Order Sentry Droid now progressively self-repairs after 6 seconds of not taking damage instead of instantly repairing, which I'm glad to see that because her droid is really OP in certain situations. Now, moving on to Luke Skywalker, let's see what they said about Luke Skywalker. They said Luke did not feel as in control of his lightsaber as he should, since he has slightly slower swings than some other lightsaber users. We'll look at improving the damage if the current buff doesn't prove to be enough for him, but we'd like to see the results of these changes first. Now, they said the exact change was reduced the cost of melee for Luke, increasing his max amount of swings from full stamina from 8 to 10. So they're making him a little bit more powerful in that regard. I still think he needs an actual damage increase. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Now, with his push ability, it says this is the first change to add different damage values for heroes and other units. It felt like Luke was the perfect character to start with, as both push and repulse were very weak against non-hero enemies. The base damage of both abilities still needed to be improved for combat against opposing heroes. And then they go on to add some detail to that. So it looks like Luke's push has been buffed. It says added non-hero specific damage to Luke's push at 150 increased push damage to heroes from 65 to 90, added non-hero specific damage to repulse at 130, and increased repulse damage to heroes from 50 to 75. And then finally, we're going to take a look at Luke's dash ability. It says players can now move a few frames earlier after using the dash ability. So that's adds some flexibility to his dash ability. Now, let's move on to his sister, Leia Organa. So, they said this about Princess Leia. They said the Defender Pistol Alt-Fire was too damaging for the short charge-up time, and getting hit by it from afar was very frustrating. This is a first pass on balancing. We'll see how it changes her efficiency, as we'd like her to be a great ranged defensive character. So they still want to maintain her as a great defensive character, but I'm glad to see they're beginning to finally nerf her secondary fire, which is out of control on maps like Hoth. So it says reduced the Defender alt-fire damage from 175 to 145. They reduced Leia's Defender alt-fire explosion radius from 2 to 1 meters. They reduced Leia's Defender alt-fire targeting angle from 3.5 to 2 degrees. Corrected text on Leia's Relentless Firing star card that referred to bullets instead of blaster bolts. Leia now receives the proper amount of health from the For the Rebellion star card. And then finally, they fixed an issue when the Defender didn't play the fire animation as it fired. So that wraps up Princess Leia. Now, going on to Emperor Palpatine, EA Dice went on to say this. They said Palpatine's sustainability was way too high with both his health regeneration and the lightning absorption star card. His health regeneration was higher than melee characters, and for a ranged character, even if closer than blaster users, that let him not care much about taking damage. So the exact change is reduced health regeneration from 300 to 250. Now, with the Lightning Absorption star card, it says the health regeneration on the Lightning Absorption star card for Palpatine was too high, especially when hitting grouped up troopers. With this change, we want Emperor Palpatine players to care more about their positioning and rely less on easy regeneration. So they reduced the amount of health regeneration by the lightning regenerated by the Lightning Absorption star card by 5 on all rarities. Now let's take a look at the dual hand lightning. So with dual hand lightning, they said this. They said dual hand lightning had the same angle as the single hand one, and it was way too easy to deal heavy damage on enemies without having to target them. So they reduced the targeting angle from dual hand lightning from 14 to 10. So it looks like Palpatine received a buff in that way. Now let's go on to Lando and his X8 Night Sniper. They said pulling the trigger on the X8 was quite high for a light pistol. We reduced it to give the weapon a lighter feel on consoles. So they reduced weight to pull the trigger of the X8 Night Sniper from 70% to 50%. So that's a good change. Now, I don't play a lot with Lando, honestly, so let me know what you guys think about that change for Lando in the comments below. Now, Han Solo can no longer throw multiple detonite charges while being hit by a lightsaber. So I've done that change to Han Solo. And then with Iden Versio, the Shield Sustain star card now activates for the proper amount of time, and then sound properly plays when dodging. So they fixed that. Now going on to lightsaber heroes in general, concerning lightsaber air attacks, they fixed an issue where lightsaber wielding heroes could damage a deflecting hero by attacking while airborne. And then they said now lightsaber heroes get staggered when attacking a deflecting character while airborne. So they've made some changes to being airborne with a lightsaber hero. And then they've also made some changes to lightsaber damage as well. So it says with the short damage delay, lightsaber attacks felt better for the attacker, but not for the player receiving the damage. We've increased that delay slightly in an attempt to get the best result for both players. So they increased lightsaber damage delay from 0.06 to 0.09 seconds. That is a tiny change there, so you might not even notice it. Now we're going to go on to classes, special units, and vehicles. So let's go on to that right now and take a look at that. And then also, we'll be going on to some more changes as well. So let's see what we have here. So, with dodge. With the dodge build, it says, we're aware of the stuns, locks from lightsabers, and we wanted to make the dodge stronger without making it as strong as it was before. Interesting. So with this change, they said we are first unifying the dodges. Some characters like Yoda didn't have the same speed and distance for their dodge, and that put them at a high disadvantage. All of the dodges for Force users are now similar, and all dodges for blaster users are the same. The second part was to get away from stun locks. To that effect, you are now unstaggerable and immune to melee damage from the start of the dodge. It was a few frames in from before. This is a shorter time than it was on release. It was the whole animation back then, but still enough to feel that you can avoid being damaged. Now, they're asking for your feedback. They said, please provide your feedback on this change, as we're hoping it will improve the fighting experience while not lowering the lightsaber efficiency too much. So they go over all the details with that as well. And again, you can take a look at these patch notes for all of the technical details on that. Now, we already went over Starfighter Assault. The big thing about Starfighter Assault is they accidentally left the word Geonosis in there. They removed that word later, of course. I believe it was done on purpose to tease Geonosis in an upcoming Clone Wars season. I still think we're going to be getting a Season 3 Clone Wars right after the Han Solo season. So I'm very excited about that. Again, we made an entire video about this, so be sure to click on that video in the description. Now, concerning Starfighter Assault, there were some other changes to it, so you can take a look at that as well in the comments. Now, Ewok Hunt is coming back, of course, into the game. They made some fixes and changes to that, so if you want to check that out, be sure to check it out. And then they also did some other location fixes, like they fixed the lighting issue on Naboo, improved collision on Bespin, did all kinds of different changes, visual changes concerning the locations that were just minor changes. Now, let's take a look at this here to see if there's anything else that sticks out concerning major changes in the game. They did polish some of the Ewok, Twi'lek, Han Solo, Lando, and Corran animation, so that's cool. You'll see some improvements concerning their animations. Also, they made some minor polishes and changes to Luke Skywalker when he's wearing his Hoth appearance. Like the weapon icon will now showcase the proper lightsaber. So that's pretty cool. And then in-game messaging has been improved. So these are minor changes again. They fixed some milestone and challenges. So I'm just going through here looking to see if there's anything else that really sticks out in these notes for you guys. But so far, everything else seems like miscellaneous and minor fixes. So that wraps up the major patch notes. Again, these are some important changes that are coming to the game with the Han Solo DLC Season 2 release. And remember, guys, this is just the first half of the Han Solo DLC season. And in June, we're getting a brand new map from the Han Solo film. So this is going to be a brand new planet that we've never seen before. I'm very excited for this. Let me know what you hope it to be in the comments below. It could be a number of things. It could be Corellia. It could be Kessel. But let me know what you guys think this location will be for the Han Solo DLC season. And then after that, again, I'm guessing we're getting Geonosis for a Clone Wars season. And as you can tell, I'm getting quite excited for this because this is what we've been waiting for. And I do believe that Battlefront 2 will be back on the map if DICE really plays their cards right and releases the upcoming DLC correctly. And I'm having hope, guys. I'm having hope once again that things will start turning around, especially after that little Geonosis tease. That's pretty much all I needed, and I'm excited. But guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Wars Battlefront news. And may the Force be with you always.